Hey there everyone, we're going to keep plugging away at our text-based game today, ending in those puzzles and grand finale screens, and by that I mean victory and defeat. I did a little tinkering with the text for my update UI function between tutorials, just so we can see all the text on screen, but other than that, it's business as usual. We'll start off by doing a little refactoring. We'll write a new function called drink water. It's going to return a bool, so it will spit out a true or false. We'll move the drink condition into this function, so let's do that right now. I will take the if condition from here, I will delete the else, and then down here I will say bool drink water, and I will add the input text, and then I will paste here my if, and if the input text is equal to drink and the water count is greater than 0, I will say return true, otherwise I will return false. So up here in my switch, before I check for my walk and move, I will check if my user used the drink action. So I will say drink water, and I will give as parameter, I will give this input text that to lower, right? So this one. And if he did, I will say return, because I don't want to run the rest of the state. Now let's play, and we have input drink and the drink message. Now there is another thing that I want to do before I move on, and that is remove the game state drinking water, because I don't want that anymore, and I'm not going to use it here either. I just want to update the UI and the water count value and nothing else actually. So now if I retest my game, I can say drink and my message is updated again, and also the state is updated too. Now let's move on and add the first puzzle. For the first puzzle I would use the same check first, and I will actually do that for every single puzzle. And also after the first check, if the user used the drink action, I will actually have to check the next condition. So we have this message on our screen, and we will have to check for a new condition. So I will say if input text equals to pour water into basin. I think that's the right pronunciation, I'm not 100% sure. And I will actually have to check for another condition, just because the user might spell it wrong. So I'll say input text equals to pour water into the basin, and that is pretty much it for this condition. And what will happen here is going to change the game state. First of all, it will go game state second puzzle, right? But also before I change the state, I also have to check if water count is greater than 0, and I will copy the new text. This one is not that long. The basin fills the static white glow and a hidden path opens. You proceed where your water supply has diminished. If the water count is less or equal to 0, then I will actually kill the player, right? So to do that, I will actually say handle death and write a new function called handle death. In this case, I will say void handle death. It doesn't need any parameter, and I will say game state equals to game state dot defeat. I will actually say I have run out of water. I will say your decision proves fatal as the jungle swiftly envelops you in its deadly embrace. Game over. Use the refresh or restart command to try again. Perfect. And the player died. And I actually added a new line that says your path is blocked by a lot of vines. You need to cut them to proceed. The hint is in this message. Actually, in this message, you need to cut them to proceed. So the second puzzle will actually be something like input text equals to cut the vines with the knife. Then we can say we will update the puzzle. From the second puzzle we will go to the third one, and the update is not going to be this one, even though my AI recommended that, but I'm actually going to use something like this and say update the function was not copied correctly. So now in this case I will have a new information, and I will also have a riddle which will be, let's actually test that out. So command the first pronunciation, then the second one is cut, the vines fall away, okay. And now we have, as you approach the pedestal in the dimly lit temple, you noticed an inscription carved into its surface, barely visible in the flickering light. Then we have our riddle in the bold text, which is: to unlock the secrets held tight and fast, place upon me the keeper of lore, quench its thirst with the life's stream as last, and reveal the path hidden before. So if we take a look in our script, first things first, we have this /n, which means that the text after that /n will be on the second line, right, on a new line. And then we have this B, which will tell Unity to bold that text. And we use this to tell Unity that the next text starting from this point, it will be bolded up until we will find this, right? So basically, if you have any knowledge about, I think it's in CSS, this is pretty much how we do it. And this is the riddle that we have. And for this, on the third puzzle, we will have to say if input text equals to place book on pedestal and pour water on it, then, because this will be what the player should do, we will change the game state equals to game state.victory. So this was the final puzzle, and we will update the UI with a new message, and I will copy the message from here. You'll say update, and instead of this message, I will actually say the book opens, revealing the true path of the treasure of the gods, along with the ancient wisdom to avoid future pitfalls. Congratulations, you found the treasure of Geek-Tec. And that is pretty much it. Now, for these two puzzles, we didn't check if the player used the wrong input or the wrong action actually. So I'll say else handle death, and I will use this else statement for this third puzzle too. And this is pretty much the whole game. Also, there is another thing that I want to do for this game and the tutorial too, and that is I will say case game state.defeat. I will give the player another option, and I will actually use the input text equals to refresh or restart, and then I will go to the introduction, I will reset the water level, the water count actually, and I will also update the UI using the message from the very first state. And with that, we will break. In case the player will try to add something else other than refresh or restart, it will do nothing, and for that I won't have to use any else statement. And this is pretty much it for this tutorial. That's all, folks. Catch you in the next video.